From the glorious Garden State in the great American Northeast, I welcome you to a last minute, am I actually going to be able to get to do this 2 weeks later than the first episode, oh my god edition of Getting Weird. As always, my name is Pat. I am a husband. I am a dad. I enjoy getting away from time to time to sink myself into the woods for a little bit of mental health self-care, an overnight at a time. This week, we join you from the friendly confines of Camp Coyote, where I have no bad vibes, no bad juju in the air, no spooky spirits, no Ouija boards, nothing of the sort. Hoping that we don't have any run-ins with anything freaky this time, but you never know what could happen out here. I mean, I would like to have a beer with Bigfoot at some point. I don't think that's going to happen tonight, though. So, we're here. We're back at Camp Coyote, our home base. We are under the threat of severe fire danger. So, I am going to be on my best behavior with a campfire this evening. And I got the idea in my head that I've always wanted to try out a Swedish Fire Log. A Swedish Fire Log is a solid log cut into quarters like a pizza, and you build a fire inside of it, and it burns from the inside out, and it's apparently really, really good for cooking. So I didn't cook in the last video because it was so hot, but I actually brought some food with me this time, and we're going to attempt to make a cheeseburger on a Swedish Fire Log. But before I can do that, I have to cut myself a log, which is why I brought a friend of mine, the old steel farm boss. So what we're going to do is we're going to get set up. We are going to plant our flag. We are going to get a little comfortable, and then we're going to try and build ourselves a Swedish Fire Log. So I brought some beers with me. It's going to be a gorgeous night. High of 81, low of like 53, which after the last video and the last couple weeks we've had of weather, I can't wait for. So hang out with me, check out what we're doing, get weird, plant your flag, enjoy yourself, and I will check in with you in a little bit. All right, we are about as set up as we're gonna get. I don't know if you noticed in the beginning of the video, I came up with this idea about an easier way to get gear here because I always have to bring in whatever I can carry on my back. Thought to myself, you got a wheelbarrow, let's try that. Wasn't nearly as easy as I thought it was going to be, but the advantage was I did manage to bring in more gear. So let me show you what I got here. I have this wheelbarrow, of course, which allowed me to bring a bag of firewood, which I'm happy about because it was starting to get a little slim here. I brought this old cooking grate that I'm going to use to cook over the Swedish log. I have the nylon casket, as I've been coming to refer to it as, but the good thing about this is with the wheelbarrow, I was able to bring in a mattress topper, so which happens to fit in there really well. Very happy about that because that bedroll is for the birds, as far as I'm concerned. I have my 1960s era Boy Scout backpack, which holds more than the $100 Cabela's backpack I have. I also have my hammock, which you guys know, it's essential. I had a little bit of trouble setting it up, but other than that, we're good to go with it. And then, check this out. I have planted my flag. Look at this $1 thrift store find. That is glorious as far as I'm concerned. Very happy with that flag. And I have the old farm boss, and of course, some food for later and a couple of beers. So, next step is to find a nice sturdy log, cut it, and then we're going to slice it up for the Swedish Fire Log, which I've never attempted before. Pretty excited about it. According to all the YouTube videos I've seen, looks pretty simple, but practice versus reality are two entirely different things. So, next time you see me, I will be operating machinery. about these fire logs. They have to get split about 3/4 of the way down in quarters. So that'll allow air to come up and to burn it from inside out. So let's give that my best shot. All right, I think that'll work. I don't know. I never did it before. Here's what we got. I got it in my fire pit. You got these slits up here. Now, according to the YouTube videos that I watched, they said to kind of put a bunch of the sawdust inside there to act as kindling and tinder. So I have these cheater wood called fat wood that are like these oil-soaked fire starters. So we're gonna do our best and we're gonna give it a shot. I honestly don't know if this will work, but we'll see. Well, the fat wood's definitely taking, but that's to be expected. It's like soaked. Definitely venting out the top already. Oh God, I'm gonna fall. Okay. Can't lean on that apparently. So I think I should light some of these like matchsticks. Drop them in. As soon as I put them in there, they go out. All right, I'm gonna, that's the idea. I'm gonna check back in a minute and see if I can get this going for real. It's starting to look like how it's supposed to. So the fire kind of gets down inside here and then it's supposed to start working out the inside. I keep running into this problem where I then have to blow into it. But it's working out so far, I think. I just got to get it going to travel down into here more, and we should be good to go. So I'll check back in a couple minutes. I think it's working. I think. But this is apparently what it's supposed to look like as it starts to get going. So I'm going to keep letting it go for a few more minutes. And then I guess we're going to start cooking. I got a nice fat cheeseburger to make. Pretty excited about that. I'm also pretty excited about just this glorious scene. Look at that. Yankee game's about to start. Temperature's going down. So far, so good, boys. So I think I got this how I need it to be. So I'm going to start cooking because I'm hungry. I got this old hobo stove. I guess it's called like a hobo press stove. Long time ago. At either a garage sale or a thrift store or something. So I made this earlier today. I got myself some 100% organic grass-fed beef. I mixed up a cheeseburger patty and I used some jalapeno peppers, and I got some spike seasoning off of Amazon, which I saw in a Camping with Steve video. Shout out to Camping with Steve. And he said it was like a really good allspice camping, or allspice spice for camping. And I don't think he's wrong, because it smells fantastic. And whew, that is a thick ass cheeseburger, and I'm ready for it. I have barely eaten today. Did a bunch of yard work today. It's finally so nice out again. All right, now that will clamp down like that. And then I think I can just go ahead and do it like that. I mean, I guess I could probably do it. Well, the flames are a little high to do it like that. But I bet I could just go ahead and hover that bad boy like that. I'll tell you what, the Swedish knew what they were doing. This thing is just throwing heat. I can hear somebody listening to some music somewhere. Might be my in-laws. They're really not that far away. Maybe 10-minute walk that way or so. A lot of the things I saw online with the Swedish Fire Log were to use like cast iron pans and stuff to make, you could sit it on top of there and get the direct heat. But, I'm going to buck the system and do something like this. Which, in retrospect, I probably should have waited for the flames to die down and I could rest it right on top. But here we are. Yeah, this thing is cooking now. No pun intended. Seems to be working pretty good. I mean, it smells like a burger. So I let the flames die down a little bit. Ooh, I should flip it. But, oh, almost lost it. Did you see that? Looks a little burnt on his side, but you can't really expect perfection when you're cooking in the woods. But I gotta tell you, those Swedes, they knew what they were doing. I guess the whole history that I read up on about this Swedish Fire Log was that they could cut a piece of dry wood in the snow and anchor the bottom into the snow and do this, and they were able to cook. And it makes a lot of sense to me, because there is like a rocket of heat coming out of the top of this, so that makes perfect sense to me. So I should be done with this within the next 5 minutes or so. I will construct the burger once it's ready to go, and I will show you. And then we're gonna eat, because man, I am hungry. Well, certainly looks like a burger on an everything bagel, because all I had was everything bagels. So I put 2 pieces of cheese on it. Give it a shot, right? Squeeze that thing. A little well done, but kind of hard to control that when you're cooking over a Swedish Fire Log. I was told by my brother-in-law, Matt, shout out to Matt, that I need to include more of my cooking in the videos. So there you go, bud. Basically the entire point of the video so far. So I am going to enjoy this, and then I'm going to go sit in that hammock, and I'm going to crack a beer, and we're going to talk about some stuff that's come to my mind, and we're gonna go from there. So in the meantime, I'm gonna enjoy this, and I will check back with you very soon. So I just want to point out that, no joke, not even a millisecond after I just stopped recording because my wife was calling and I was talking about how content I was and how comfortable I am and how full I was, this 15-plus-year-old paracord decided that it had enough, and it snapped. So it would have been really good to get on camera, but I didn't get it. So I'm gonna try and figure out something to excuse me, I'm gonna try and figure out a way to get that rig back up, but oh boy, I think I need to replace the paracord on that. Like I probably built that in 2007, so it's quite possibly dry rotted at this point, but I'm okay. So anyway, I'll check back in a little later. Well, after a couple different repeated attempts, I'm just gonna go ahead and call it that the paracord on my hammock is done for. So I have literally hundreds of feet of paracord. I will restring it when I get home, plus my beer spilled on it, so it's soaking wet. So I currently have it hanging up. So right now I got this like weird cowboy setup on the ground with my sleeping bag and my inflatable pillow. It's a little bit of a pitch in the ground, so I'm relatively comfortable for now. Plus it's supposed to be a beautiful night. I'll be able to see the stars through some of these holes in the canopy, and it's going to be really fun. So I would like to address the quote-unquote elephant in the woods, as far as the weirdness that went down during my last video. So I had a lot of different answers as to what that noise was in the woods. Now, I even said on that video that, being a logical person, I am sure that it was just some animal, probably a fox, possibly a raccoon, that got close enough to where I was and made some kind of noise. But it was definitely enough to screw with my head to the point where I was completely freaked out for the entire rest of the trip. But that being said, I also spoke with my resident conspiracy theorist buddy at work, Joe, who told me that, you know, he believes very much in demons and the devil, and, you know, that there is evil among us, and that he was telling me that demons manifest themselves in ways that we don't expect, such as a demon taking over the body of an animal, and a demon can't speak, so it would make noise, which he is convinced that it was a demon because of my connection with the Ouija board. I don't necessarily believe that, but part of me is like, yeah, maybe. I'm just open to it. And then there was a part in the video where this giant bug flew directly into my mouth and I spit it out. Now, Joe being Joe, he slowed that video down to like supersonic slow motion, and he's claiming that that was a woodland fairy. And I'll tell you what, the screenshot that he sent me, it looks a hell of a lot like Tinkerbell. So I'll put it up here, and you know, you guys can debate about it, because I'd really love some feedback on it. And it definitely weirded me out. But another thing that weirded me out about that entire night was the moment I burned that Ouija board, I felt immediately better. Like immediately. And it's probably psychological. It's probably just my brain. But that's what happened. And I felt so much better. And, you know, and then there was the issue of the dog. The dream that I had about the dog, which I'm just going to go ahead and call it a dream that I had. A dream in which I woke up and there was a dog nosing around my tent. And, you know, these things tend to happen when you're out in the woods and your brain is playing tricks on you. So, yeah. I don't know. All I know is that I'm 10 minutes away from the Witch's Circle, which is that way, and I feel a million times better. So, I'm going to stick to Camp Coyote for a while, and then we're going to go from there. But that being said and all that out of the way, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to relax. And I got the fire going. I am very, as comfortable as I can be now that my hammock decided to dump me on the ground. So, anyway, I'll shut up now. So, I'm going to just sit here and listen to this Yankee game and relax for a while. So, I just had a thought. I was laying on that sleeping bag, realizing that it was not a viable long-term solution for the evening. And I was looking around at what I had, and I remembered that back in the day, when I was a landscaper, if we had a little downtime and nowhere to sit, we used to turn the wheelbarrow over. And I brought a wheelbarrow. So I am currently on this wheelbarrow throne, enjoying my evening, much more comfortable than I was. So just wanted to give you an update on that. So I think I said in the second video, my first video here, that when you're on one of these trips, you use what you have. And here I am. I have a wheelbarrow. I'm using what I have. Oh, hey. So it's about 9:30. Just texting back and forth with my wife, making sure everything's cool at home. I'm really enjoying the evening. It's cool out, it's nice out, it's crystal clear. It's really, other than home in bed with my wife, surrounded by my kids, and probably watching a movie and eating popcorn, there's really nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. But I wanted to give a quick shout out, because I recently had a friend of mine at work ask me what made me start doing these videos. And extremely long story short, I've done video production my whole life. I went to college for radio and television production, and I've always been into it. But, you know, life gets in the way, and you end up falling out of that type of stuff. And then a couple years ago, I bought a used GoPro with the express intention of filming stuff with my kids. And then good old pandemic hit, and I was at home for long periods of time, and I discovered a whole plethora of solo camping videos on YouTube. And I thought they were the coolest thing, and I thought to myself, I could do that. And well, here we are. But my main influence was a guy named Steve Wallace, who has a channel called Camping with Steve. And he puts out videos every Thursday. He's this Canadian dude, and he's really cool. He's chill, he's down to earth, and I really enjoy his videos a lot. So he's probably one of my main influences. But he just reached 1 million subscribers. So in honor of that, I am going to crack, in Steve's name, a step 2 and enjoy this bushlight apple by this fire in this not so stealthy campsite. So cheers, Steve. Thanks for everything you do, and keep on making the videos, and I hope to maybe get to 100 subscribers one day. It's a little bit after 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am getting ready to call it a night pretty soon. I'm just sitting here thinking about, I don't know if anybody has seen on Netflix the new Woodstock 99 documentary. I think it's called Trainwreck. It's not the same one as the HBO one that was out a year or so ago. But I was 14 when Woodstock 99 happened, and I remember it was played live on the radio, 92.3 K-Rock, around the clock. The only time that they interrupted it was for Howard Stern on Friday. And I remember listening to the Limp Bizkit set while at the skate park, which is like peak 90s to me. But, you know, I heard about the fires and I heard about the riots and all that stuff, you know, after it had happened. And watching this documentary, specifically the corn Friday night show. I don't know about any of you, but the whole "this was terrible, this was bad" theme that the documentary was going for had the complete opposite effect on me. That show looked like the funnest place on earth to be. That sea of people listening to like peak corn, like that must have been so much fun. I can't even imagine how cool that would have been. And I definitely would have been the guy to light a trailer on fire and, you know, tip over the merchandise booth and all. I definitely would have been that guy. Like 100% I would have been that guy. But I was a 14-year-old kid 4 hours away, and I had never even been to a concert yet. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about right now. So, like I said, I'm going to probably check in one more time before bed. I think this has been a successful evening. Definitely are zero negative vibes in the air as opposed to the last video. I am very much in my lane, enjoying myself. So I will check in one more time before bed. And other than that, God, stop saying that. Anyway, yeah, that being said, also need to stop saying that. Verbal crutches are a real thing, kids. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just going to shut up now. Goodbye. All right, party people. It is roughly 11:15, which means that it is time for this old man to go to bed. It is currently like 65 degrees. It's going to be roughly 55 tonight. I am genuinely looking forward to a solid night of sleep out here in the woods. I really couldn't be happier about the way the evening went. The Swedish Fire Log was a total success. Everything went fine. My hammock broke, but all you gotta do is restring it. Shouldn't be a big deal. It was due new string anyway. So I will be taking my air horn and my mace into my tent this evening because I heard more than once some coyotes off in the distance. I heard dogs barking and I heard the whining of coyotes. So, but I'm not worried about it. I made all the food I brought and I dropped my hatchet when I did that. But I made all the food I brought. Nothing stinks here. Should be good to go. I've peed everywhere. So we should be good to go. But that being said, I would like to take the opportunity to wish you all a good night from Camp Coyote here in the non-creepy section of the woods. So barring any bear encounters, coyote encounters, alien abductions, skinwalker sightings, Wendigo sightings, and things of that nature, I will see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning. After a very successful evening followed by a rock solid night of sleep, it is 6:30. It's time for me to go. I'm going to clean up here and get out of here. But very, very solid night of sleep. I feel great. The Swedish Fire Log was a total success as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, very, very good night. But I have a lot of stuff going on today, so it is time for me to pack up and get out of here. So I just want to say that if you made it this far, I really do appreciate you watching. If you like, subscribe. Please comment. Please let me know what you think. Reading that type of stuff keeps me motivated to keep going. I have a really, really cool camp scheduled for about 2 weeks from now. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's a 2-night overnight in a cornfield. So that'll be a really good time. I would like to say thank you to my wife for indulging me in this weird passion of mine and letting me get out of the house and taking care of our kids while I'm gone. That's really super nice of her. Besides that, always remember to get out in the woods, spend a little time by yourself, plant your flag, and never be afraid to get a little weird, because you will thank yourself for it. So until next time, I'll be seeing you then, and enjoy yourself. Thanks. Click.